Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Instant Replay, where I give you my take on the controversial calls of the weekend. I'm Simon Bourne. We start in DC, where you don't even need my take on this offside call. Kudos to assistant referee Matthew Nelson for admitting after the match that he misjudged this play, which would have resulted in a goal for Sporting Kansas City in the first half. Sporting KC's Iko Para clearly kept onside by DC's Kyle Porter and a few other players. One more play to look at from RFK. Did Sporting's Matt Beasler commit a handball in the box on this poke shot by Dwayne De Rosario? No way! He's bracing for the shot with his chest, and the ball instead grazes the defender's stomach and his side. Good no call by referee Jair Marufo. Another game from Sunday. Real Salt Lake blows out Chivas USA, but the Coats should have had a PK in the 13th minute. Look at how RSL defender Nat Borchers pulls down on Bobby Burling's jersey for the entirety of this corner kick. That crosses the line, and for me, that's a PK. But Chivas USA were then graced by Soren Stoica in the 68th minute. Midfielder Walter Vilches is already on a yellow card, and he takes down Tony Beltran with a late tackle. In my opinion, that was worthy of a second yellow. No doubt about the second yellow shown to Chicago's Wells Thompson in the 62nd minute against Philly. The foul is on Danny Cruz, who dispossesses Thompson and races toward goal, only to be hauled down from behind. Good call by referee Alan Chapman. There was a question as to whether the Fire should have had a PK in the 73rd minute. Although the jostling between Shannon Williams and Churchill McDonald starts outside the box, McDonald survives it. Then there's this separate tug in the box by Williams that brings down McDonald. That's good enough for a PK. Moving on to Seattle, where FC Dallas offside trap made sure assistant referee Joe Fletcher had his hands full on some close calls. First, he rightly flags Mario Martinez in the 6th minute. Then in the 26th minute, Brad Evans looks offside, but he's not whistled for it. And only a couple of minutes later, Fletcher allows play to continue as Lamar Nagel just barely beats the Dallas trap and scores. That last one is so close, and the benefit of the doubt is rightly given to the attacker. But the big play of the Seattle-Dallas game was the red card to Blas Perez in the 73rd minute. Despite all the gore and blood, I don't think there's in any way an intentional elbow here on Seattle's Leo Gonzalez. We've seen this happen before. The injury does not justify the card. Remember what happened to Diego Valeri against Houston? That wasn't a red card, and this one shouldn't have been either. One play to look at from New York, LA. In the 44th minute, there was a question as to why there was no advantage given to LA after Robbie Keane was fouled near the top of the box. Referees are typically trained to wait 3 seconds to determine advantage, but referee Silvio Petrescu whistles for the foul almost immediately. The Galaxy were on the short end of that one. By the same measure, in Vancouver, referee Matthew Forster does allow the recommended 3-second advantage. Look at how Diego Valeri fouls Gershon Kofi, and Camilo picks up the ball and continues the attack for the Whitecaps. But Forster then whistles the play dead and brings the ball back to the spot of the foul before Camilo has time to finish his run. That's a judgment call by the referee, because if too much time elapses on the advantage, then the referee cannot stop the play for the original foul. And you see him here motioning a 1-on-4, indicating Camilo was outnumbered, which negates the advantage. Camilo was a magnet of controversy in that Cascadia Cup match against the Timbers. First, on the foul that led to his opening free kick goal. No doubt about the contact by Will Johnson, and Camilo sells it well. Later in the first half, Camilo again goes down fairly easily, and I thought the referee here did a good job not to whistle a PK. Camilo was also involved in the red card to Footy Danso. The Brazilian is battling Footy for this ball, but the Timbers defender keeps his left arm on Camilo for way too long. And here too, the Whitecaps forward sells it well. Danso ran the risk and paid the price. Foul and red card for denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity. The Timbers scored on a PK in this game, awarded for a handball by Andy O'Brien, but they could have had another. Look at how Brad Rusin takes down Ryan Johnson in the first half. But the Timbers should feel fortunate their late equalizer even counted. Jose Valencia cradles this ball over the top with both arms before slotting it home. There seemed to be an infraction just before the game winner that decided Toronto-Columbus at BMO. It looks to me like Tyson Wall trips up Justin Braun in the Crew half of the field. But no foul was called, and 2 passes later, the Crew were celebrating a goal. Referee Ricardo Salazar had a clean game in San Jose, including making a good call on the Shane O'Neill red card in the 90th minute. The Rapids youngster fouls Chris Wondolowski and denies him a clear goal-scoring opportunity. That's a red card every day of the week. There's one play that the MLS disciplinary committee will likely be looking at from this match. Look at how Walter El Peri Martinez takes a dive in the 23rd minute. There's no contact until he's already in the air, and that's simulation in my book. The biggest issue on the disciplinary committee's plate this week will likely be the Bobby Boswell-Dimitri Mbongo incident in Houston. Boswell applies an off-the-ball headbutt to the Revs forward, who retaliates by grabbing Boswell's face and yanking him to the ground. Both deserve the red card, handed out by referee Edvin Jurasevich. The Dynamo lost the match 2-0, but I thought there were two penalties that could have been awarded to the Dynamo. First, in the 15th minute, it looks like Stephen McCarthy chops down Will Bruin. And then in the 79th minute, Corey Ash is nudged from behind by Andrew Farrell, who comes away with the ball. Finally, Ash almost got into serious trouble in the 55th minute when he puts his hands on Jurasevich after the referee steps in to break up a confrontation with Juan Toja. No card is issued to Ash, but it's worth highlighting that Jurasevich is the one who initially makes contact with Ash. Not once, but twice before the player then reacts. Match officials are discouraged from making contact with players to avoid this very situation. That's all we have for this week. See you next time.